So, firstly, 2 weeks ago when I got the call from Darshan and the TEDx committee, it was neck to neck because just 24 hours ago, less than 24 hours ago, I became a dad. And yeah, and I thought this would be the ideal way to start this session because why not take a moment to acknowledge my beautiful wife who's given birth to this gorgeous little pudding who is literally the size of my palm and a little bit of my forearm. And thank you guys so much for having me here. Thank you to my wife for this wonderful gift and for bringing this angel into our lives. But I'll channelize back into the TEDx talk, and here we go. So it's a surreal experience being up here again. The last time I was up here, I made a complete fool of myself. But this time, I'll probably make a fool of myself yet again. So it was the first year of college, and we were asked to come over on stage and introduce ourselves. And being business management students, the other batch who had no idea about business decided to latch on to the one word they know. Pitch. They came over on stage, pitched startup ideas, spoke about their goals and aspirations. And yeah, that's an interesting subject if you're addressing a 60-year-old on LinkedIn. But my batchmates and I came over on stage, and this very stage, mind you, and did the signature Salman Khan step. Yeah, that was me from over 12 years ago. Don't ask me why I did that. It's been a while, I still don't. But to us, and to me, that was us making a statement that whatever we do over the course of the next 3 years, we're going to take risks, regardless of what the outcome might be. And that held true for most of us because majority of the people you see in this picture went on to represent St. Joseph's in the business teams, in the cultural teams. And I, on the other hand, should have been in the other batch because I got obsessed with pitches, be it bunking class to be on the cricket pitch or pitching to brands day in, day out today. My name is Mayur Tekwani. I'm 31 years old. And I run a digital marketing agency called Thinktree Media House. Today, I'm here to talk to you about the concept of a hidden portfolio. Now, as somebody in the creative business, you're often asked to create a portfolio of your successes, your wins, the biggest brands you have worked with. This is something you post about on LinkedIn. This is something you brag about to your peers. But what I've come to realize is that while you are creating this gorgeous portfolio, life is making you another hidden portfolio. And this consists of your misfires, your errors of judgment, your most embarrassing moments that you thought may last forever. And most people don't showcase this. They bury it deep down inside. But today, I'd like to show you mine. Like I said, I'm here to make a fool of myself, and I'm completely okay with that because in this hidden portfolio is where the creative evolution happens. Now, let me take you back 2 decades ago. I was 11 years old. I picked up a cricket bat. And this is from the Sourav Ganguly era, right? And I picked up the bat and I felt, hey, I might just have a shot at this. And so left-handers came, and being a left-hander myself, we were often asked to open the innings. We were given more opportunities. We come with a natural flair and charisma while we are playing. And so I enrolled myself to the best cricket academy in Bangalore, practiced day in, day out for 9 years, represented my school team, only to realize that I may not be cut out for this. While I thought I can go on to play for Karnataka and go on to play for India, the selectors had other thoughts. And it was soul-crushing because imagine you've put in your heart and soul into something and you have no result from it. Or at least I thought that. But sport in return taught me many things that nothing else could ever teach me. The first thing it taught me is how to be resilient. It taught me discipline. And like MS Dhoni says, cricket is a great leveler. One day you might score 100. The next day you might walk out for a duck without troubling the scorers. And the fact that I was so close to cricket, it gave me an opportunity to work with brands like Rajasthan Royals and Royal Challengers Bangalore as their content partners. And I'm now also working on a sports tech startup, which I'll be touching upon later. And the lesson I learned from this is that it's not always the first idea that sticks. things don't go as you plan, but sometimes it gives you the opportunity of experiencing things that you never thought would come your way. And it's very important to accept the losses, or you may forget to embrace the successes. Now, the natural progression from giving up the dreams of being a sportsman were this. Oh, it's not what you think. When we were in SJCC and just a couple 20-year-olds, my classmate and I, Lanvin Pice, we started out this event management company called Levels Entertainment. We were Josephites, so of course we were social. We were capable of pulling in crowds to a venue. We thought, why not make this a business? And I clearly remember the first event that we conducted. We actually brought the venue 50,000 worth of revenue. And the club owner just came over to us and gave us 3,000 rupees to be split amongst us. I was very happy, but until I realized that the math wasn't mathing. And while, of course, this started off, we made many memories along the way. Another very fun incident was we conducted this IP called The Wolf of Crawl Street. The idea was that we gather 350 plus highly intoxicated adults and walk from one part of Church Street to another part of Church Street. And that's me, leading the entire pack with a yellow flag in my hand. Little did I know that for a gathering of above 50 people, you need to get a special cop permission in a public place. And when the authorities came looking for the organizer, I too looked back and said, I'm looking for the same person. I have no idea who he is. And I just walked away. Obviously, the cops didn't believe that two 20-year-olds were able to pull this off. But the learnings were immense. And, the success always doesn't last forever. And there were times where we tried to conduct events and only 2 people would RSVP for it. At those moments, you really wanted to give up. And we eventually did. But on the bright side, I found a business partner. And through the network effect of doing this throughout the college days, through the clientele we built out, we launched Thinktree Media House. And again, some learnings that came from the past, from Levels Entertainment is the return of failure. Now, we always obsess, what is the return on investment? I'm investing this much. What am I going to get in return? But we always forget that learning pays us dividends in insights. And failure always has a return on investment. You just have to know how to measure it. Now, Thinktree is my second attempt at entrepreneurship. This is doing a multi-million-dollar revenue with a team of 62 highly dedicated and creative individuals working across cities, servicing brands across countries. Now, to get here, it took us 10 whole years and a lot of trial and errors. And what I've realized is that once we started seeing real money in Thinktree after 3-4 years, what would one typically do? They would get savings, they would put into an FD, they would put it into the equity market and start multiplying it. But no, that's not what we did. We were young, we were social, we knew a little bit of marketing. We thought, why not venture out into an F&B business? And then we launched. This is also my team, by the way, who is doing this special round of applause for these guys. They've been working day in, day out really hard. And then we thought, okay, why not use this money and launch another source of revenue? We launched Pronto Kitchen. It was Lanvin, I, and 2 other guys who ventured out. 4 guys with a lot of energy, okay marketing game, but 0 experience in running a kitchen. Long story short, this brand went bankrupt in 6 months. My store manager walked out with an iPhone. I walked out with the Xiaomi because I had blown up all my savings. But, when in business, when you're knocked down, there's only one way up. And then we launched Laughing Llama Gastropub. Now, this is the very spot right opposite college where Plan B is today. I'm sure when you pass by it, you might recognize this. We thought, okay, we've done marketing, which is still ongoing. We've been in the restaurant business. We failed at it. Why not try the liquor business? Because in liquor, you make a 300% margin, right? You sell alcohol. If you compare your MRP prices to what you get at the gastropubs, massive margin. We thought, okay, this is where we make money. We even started out well. Life was good. We even set up a karaoke night IP every Friday, for which I still get calls. But April 2020 had other plans. Few years into Laughing Llama, COVID had struck, and we were shut indefinitely. The same plates that were used to serve lip-smacking food to all my guests were now being used in balconies where we were screaming, Corona, go, go, Corona. But life throws challenges at you, and you just have to get out of it. And looking at all you young adults, I'm sure everybody's dreamt of opening a cafe or a restaurant or a bar. But there are a few things that I'd like to talk to you about the restaurant industry as well. Now, in the public eye, I'm an entrepreneur who has experience in running a bar and a kitchen. But in my hidden portfolio is 2 failed businesses. The lesson I learned is that you need to get your hands dirty. And especially if you're entering the hospitality business, there are a few non-negotiables. The first one being, you need to know your costs on your fingertips. You do not want to get your restaurant manager an iPhone and you downgrading yourself. So delegation is good, but over-dependency is never good. The industry looks very, very glamorous from the outside, but the reality is very different. And third, and the most important, never get high on your own supply. I made this mistake, and I would recommend you guys not to. Now, you might think that, okay, 3 failed businesses later, this guy should give up, just continue doing what he's doing. But that's the thing about entrepreneurship, guys. The hunger to create value never dies. And this will to keep creating has now taken me a full circle where I'm launching a product in sports. And I'm not trying to crack into the Indian national cricket team for sure, but I want to enable young athletes so they can go pro one day. We are trying to provide the right data, the right insights, at the right support and the ecosystem at the right time. My latest venture is Athletic. This is already out in the market, and we will be doing a public launch very, very soon. So what I'm trying to tell you now is that we all have 2 portfolios. The public eye sees all your wins, all the accolades, but don't shy away from your hidden portfolio. Embrace it, because those are the stories that actually got you to these public wins, right? And it is not your shame, it is your strength. So when you look at your wins, remember the invisible stories that carried you there. Because in the end, the work that shapes us most is often the work that nobody sees. And that is the real portfolio worth celebrating. Thank you very much. And I'd like to sign off just the same way I did 12 years ago. Hudu, hudu, dabang, 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 dabang. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.